Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for tuning in to what's going to be a product fails video. I've been accumulating a couple. It's not an extensive collection of products, but lately I've just found that I've encountered a couple of duds. Some of these I've talked about here on the channel, and so I'll link those videos down below, or you can click the eye up here to watch those as they pop up and I'm talking about them. Some of these I haven't. I was like, it's not even worth making a video about. I'm just going to put it in the fail pile to talk about it collectively later on down the road, and that day is today. So let's go. Oh, before we get started, actually, I do want to say, on my eyes, in case you are wondering, I am using the new Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. A couple of you guys wanted to see a few different looks using this, so I'm coming out with it's supposed to be a 4-in-1. It's actually going to be quite a few different looks in one video. Super quick, but just like this look alone had 3 different kinds of variations, like a daytime halo eye, a sort of smoked out halo eye, and then this with the orange-ness about it as well. So that's what I'm wearing. You will see a tutorial coming on it soon, but if in the meantime you want to see the review of this guy, go ahead and check it out, because I'm also in that video giving away Naked Palettes 1, 2, and 3 for at least another week and a half-ish. So be sure and go check that out. Again, it will be linked up there in either click the eye or in the description box below. Now let's go ahead and dive in. The first fail I want to talk about is one of those where I actually haven't mentioned it before on the video, but in the process of going through and trying and testing lots of powder foundations, I wanted to do what I would consider kind of an ultra luxury product from Marc Jacobs. It's the Perfection powder. It says it's featherweight foundation, so it is supposed to be a foundation, not a setting powder. And it says erase your past, perfect your present. Wear this lightweight powder as a foundation or layer with Genius Gel for a polished look, light to full coverage. That's quite a promise. Light to full coverage. I could not get this beyond a medium coverage, and even at that, even at a light coverage, it was so dry, so patchy. I wouldn't say this is good at all for dry to even normal skin. On my oily skin, it just didn't interact with like concealer that I had applied underneath. It definitely caked up around the barrier there, but then when it wasn't over a cream product like a concealer, it looked so gross. It wasn't buildable at all. It was dry, made my skin look dry, and ugh. There are not enough bad things I can say about this, which is so, it's, you know, I don't mean to come off as bashing, but I also don't think it was at its best even at a light coverage, let alone, you know, have the functionality to build to a full coverage. And I think that's what makes it a fail, not just for me personally, but probably in a broader sense for people with different skin types and different skin tones besides me as well. So just a heads up, I would definitely, you know, go check this out in store, which is something I did not do. I ordered a lot of foundations from Sephora online, and so if you were thinking of getting this, I haven't heard a lot on it, so I can't imagine a whole lot of people had it top of mind, but in the event that you do, I would just go give it a swatchy swatch in store, or maybe get someone there to apply it for you, just so you can test it yourself before you buy it, because it's a pretty hefty price tag to have it come up as a fail. Up next is another foundation, and this is one that I received from Octoly and was initially going to do a full day wear test, but I had so many thoughts on this foundation that I just decided to do a standalone review, because it's one of those, again, where it wasn't right for my skin tone, which, by the way, I should just tell you what it is. It's the Pure Baradol 12-Hour 4-in-1 Skin Perfecting Foundation. Mine is in the shade Golden Medium, which is a pretty good match, and it just has an overall thicker, moussier texture. So in the beginning, it was a pretty good medium to full-ish coverage, just did an overall good job at evening out the skin tone, but felt really heavy on the skin, and then throughout the day proceeded to get very shiny, oily, and break up in more than just my T-zone, kind of around my cheeks as well, which is unusual for me given that I have combo skin. T-zone tends to be the only place I really have to worry about, but this just didn't cut it for me throughout the day. And this I do know a couple people have enjoyed, so it might just be a personal preference in terms of how thick you like your foundation, the kind of coverage you like, and the kind of skin type you have. If you have combo skin and you just tend to struggle with that excess oil breaking up your makeup, this might not be a good choice for you, but definitely go search around if this was on your list of foundations to try, because I know a couple of people who it did work out for them, but not so much for me. On to another product that I'm pretty sure I've never mentioned it here before on the channel, but I have been testing it behind the scenes. It's the Rimmel Shake It Fresh Clump-Free Volume Mascara. It's this huge, bulky, man down. All right, back at it. By comparison, I mean, you can see it's just like a bulkier tube here. This is the Dior Pumpin' Volume. It's what I'm wearing on my lashes today. By comparison, it's a thicker sort of situation you got going on here, and it is because you're supposed to be able to, let me see if I can, here. It's like one of those things, those sticks that you would like, ew, what is it, like a slide whistle? I don't think that's what that is, but it's kind of like that. It makes a similar sound. And it's like you would have batons that would do that. I'm getting away from myself, but that's the similar concept here. But the idea behind it is that it shakes up your mascara formula to make sure it doesn't dry out very quickly. It stays fresh and like well mixed and everything. So it just extends the life of it and the quality that you get over the course of the time that you have and use this mascara. But I gotta say, I don't like the formula. I don't like the formula as it is, so I would kind of want it to dry out a little bit. It's very thin. The wand here is a good enough wand, but I just don't find that it, because of the thin formula, it doesn't coat my lashes enough to give it really any sort of intense effect. And then when it came to wear time, I definitely noticed some flaking throughout the day. So just in general, it's not my cup of tea. I get the idea behind it and I kind of want to cut it open just to see how it works. But when the formula you're starting out with isn't the best to begin with, there's no reason for me to want to keep it fresh. So I see where they were going with it and I think it's a cool idea, but maybe with a different formula. Moving on to another eye product, but this time it is a cream eyeshadow. This is from the brand RMS and I recently tested a bunch of products from them out in a full day test wear. Test wear? That's not even right, but you get what I tested a full face of RMS Beauty throughout the day to see how it wore. This was one of the worst performing products. It is the eye polish in the shade Solar. Amazing color. I so wish this would have worked because it's an amazing one and done eyeshadow. It's so multifaceted on the lid. You put it on and it looks like this it almost looks like kind of what I'm wearing right now, except this is like 5 eyeshadows and this is 1. It just looks so multidimensional on the eye and it would be so super easy if this is all you had to wear throughout the day, but it creased and transferred on me like crazy. It was not a long-lasting formula. I don't find I have particularly oily eyelids. Sometimes I can get away without wearing a primer with powder eyeshadows, and I have a lot of cream shadow formulas that work on me without priming my eyes underneath. And so just to put that into perspective, I feel like that means it's going to be a dud for wear time for a lot of people. Moving on to some lips from the brand Pure. This doesn't have the collection it's from, but I got a collection of, I think they were called lip polishes, or maybe they were chromes. I think that's exactly what they were called because I was thrown by the name because they're not really chrome finish. They just have they're a high shine gloss, some of them with a lot of pigmentation, and this is one of them. This is the shade DIY, and it has this milky coloring to it. I mean, beyond just the coloring, it's supposed to be sort of a cream texture or a cream, what is the word cream texture, but with a high shine glossy finish. And this is one of those with the cream texture where the cream kind of separates from the gloss and it sinks into your fine lines and it just is royally unflattering on the lips. That's not the case for the whole collection. I highly recommend you go check that video out because there were some inconsistencies in that way. I've had a great luck with some of those and still use them as like a go-to daily gloss to this day. But this is just not one of them. It was kind of a fail from that collection because the way the pigment separated from the glossy formula did not do anything good at all for the lips. Yeah. And last up, this again is something that I recently talked about, but in case you missed that review video, Plump It. It is a lip plumper, has this interesting, flexible, like silicone applicator. You give it, it's like a clicky thing. Click it up. You're supposed to apply it directly to your lips, let it set for about 5 minutes for the effects to take place, and then layer lip products over top. I, like a sucker, bought this because I saw a video on Facebook and I thought those results seem impressive yet achievable. They're not. I didn't notice this doing anything for my lips besides intensely burning. It's easily the most intense lip plumping product that I have ever used, but it melts right into your lips like the formula at least does. It's water-based, so it melts directly into your lips, but I didn't notice it doing anything, at least with a gloss like Too Faced Lip Injections, which are also one of the stronger lip plumpers that I've tried. The gloss kind of fakes the appearance of plumper, fuller lips. This, I got nothing besides some burny, stingy, irritated lips. And what's more is that what it did leave over top, it wasn't a residue, but like when you lick your lips, it's straight up chili pepper. It's some sort of chili pepper in there that is an irritant and it draws the blood there to, make your lips physically more plump temporarily. Didn't make mine. It just like added some extra seasoning to my lips throughout the day. So if you don't like spicy food, I definitely wouldn't recommend either. More so for the fact though that I didn't find the results were there for me. And that's it. Like I said, not too many fails, but just some things that I wanted to round up here because I hadn't talked about some of them at all, and some of them have been distributed in videos throughout the past couple of months. So in case you haven't caught all of them, yeah, just wanted to include them here. Which, by the way, if you haven't been catching all my videos in your subscription feeds, be sure and hit that bell down below so that way you get a notification whenever I upload. That's it for me today, guys. I'd love to hear if you have any fails coming across your beauty desk lately. Let me know in the comments below so that I can either try them for myself or just avoid them altogether, and it'll help everybody else down there too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.